Well, it is a landmark trial in Los Angeles right now, putting social media companies in front of a jury for the first time, as a 19-year-old plaintiff alleges addictive design features fueled her mental health struggles. TikTok and Snapchat have already settled in this trial, but Meta and YouTube remain in court, and the outcome could determine just how far social media companies can be held responsible for the impacts of their platforms on your kids. Joining me now is American Enterprise Institute non-resident senior fellow and media law professor Clay Calvert. Clay, thank you for joining us and helping us understand how big of a trial this truly is. So this young woman, teenager, we're only going to name her as KGM. That's how she's referred to in this lawsuit. What does her team need to prove? It's not necessarily that the content was addictive, but really the framework of the app is what made her addicted.
That's exactly right. She's going to claim that these applications were negligently designed to hook minors, to keep them on, and that from that being hooked on social media platforms, that caused a whole raft of mental health problems that she's claiming, including anxiety, stress, depression, body dysmorphia. So yes, it's really negligent design is really what we're focusing on here. And she's claiming it's not so much the content that she watched, because that would raise key defenses for the social media platforms, but these design defects essentially in the platforms themselves.
They could use Section 230 of the Communications and Decency Act, right, as a shield, as immunity if it's just the content. I mean, that really protects these social media companies right now from anybody suing them. I want to bring up these internal messages from Meta. This is who owns Facebook, and these messages are striking. I'm wondering if they're going to be a smoking gun, Clay. Some of them say, these are employees in Meta saying, "Oh my gosh, y'all, IG is a drug. LOL, I mean all social media. We're basically pushers in terms of, pushing drugs. Seriously, it is. We are causing reward deficit disorder because people are binging on IG so much they can't feel reward anymore, like their reward tolerance is so high." Are these emails a possible smoking gun?
I don't think they're necessarily a smoking gun. It's going to really be up to the jury, right? So the jurors are going to have to decide how much credibility do they give this. I think one thing that's going to be very interesting here is that Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Meta and CEO, is actually scheduled to testify on February 9. So his testimony and what he says, I think, will probably overshadow those types of memos from lower level employees. So I think his testimony will really be key.
Okay. A lot of bans are happening around the world right now with social media, and these companies definitely don't want that. But if they lose this case, I mean, this is a whole business game changer for them. And we saw what TikTok had to go through recently with its sale and having to change the algorithms. The algorithms were the problem. I mean, this is going to be, people compare it to the tobacco trials. This is going to be completely a game changer for these businesses, right?
Well, a couple things is, first of all, it's just the leading edge trial, what we call a bellwether trial or test case. There are literally 1,000 personal injury cases behind this one. But yes, if, let's say, the plaintiffs win a series of these cases, and if those verdicts are upheld on appeal, then that will definitely impact how social media platforms deliver content to minors in the future. They may have to radically change how they do that in their structure and how they're designed. So yes, it's a big case, but again, it's important to point out, this is just the first case of thousands, literally, that will be coming up. And again, we call this a bellwether trial. It gives both sides the opportunity to test out their arguments. Finally, the case has been going on for 3 years, right? In front of a jury, and to see what jurors think about this.
Okay, we'll watch it. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of parents are tuned into this because this really does impact every child out there. Clay, great to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You got it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.